आज तक कोई भी मशीन ऐसी नहीं आई है जो इनको कार्व कर पाए।
कलर्स का देखें तो स्टार्टिंग में पहले नेचुरल कलर काम आते थे।
ब्लॉक प्रिंटिंग के अंदर हमारे खुद के डिज़ाइंस होते हैं, हमारे खुद के कलर कॉम्बिनेशन होते हैं, हम सैम्पलिंग करते हैं।
It is different from screen printing because it is handwork.
Jaipur is one of the ancient city for this printing. यहाँ पे लगभग 800 से 1000 फैक्ट्रीज हैं जिसमें 7 से 8 लाख लोग हैं जो इस काम पे डिपेंडेंट है।
We need to differentiate it from machine. Like you have a music which is composed on machine and a music where you have gone to the theaters to listen to one of the masters and paid a price for it. So that difference you have to bring in this form.
We do nothing. We will have these prints in the sense.
Well, they will die.
Yeah, but the process, the art, the culture will die.
It will die. Everything will. The heritage will go. It will just go away in the next 15-20 years if we do not give it an identity. Main thing is an identity. You go to Johar Kala Kendra if you have the time. There was a person there who used to work earlier. Her name was Chandramani Singh. She created for each panchayat, she created a kind of a booklet where how many craftspeople are there, how many block makers are there. That's still there. They have a series, but not all districts were covered. Some districts were covered. Now that was a very good initiative. Something like could have been done. It can be done on a village basis. That okay, what are the crafts in that village? As on today, surviving crafts. How many people are working in it? What are the traditional methods that are still alive? What is the design directory? So if we can create those kind of data, then what will happen? We will at least start somewhere, cataloging, archiving, because that is something which we are very weak at and which we have not paid attention to. So you need to pick up craft pockets even today. At least 25% is still alive, like Bagru, huh? So, and you save that. Otherwise, in future generation, maybe craft dies at a certain pocket. But even 10 or 20 years later, it could be revived if you have the systems with you. And for the future generation also, if systems are there, then that learning also can come. Also, crafts needs to become a part of school education. Not as a hobby, but as a part of a curriculum. Like you have sports and you give a certain amount of importance to sports. Even when you go for university enrollment, then sports have a certain amount of importance given. It needs to be given more, of course, from what it is given now. But similarly, crafts also, because crafts are a living heritage of India. Not only crafts, dance, music. I would say हमारी जितनी भी कलाएं हैं, उनके पहचान बहुत ज़रूरी है. Sanganeri print is very fine, and what I find something a common thread in Sanganeri printing is, other than what is in the folk tradition, the finer parts of the folk tradition also you find in Sanganeri, but there are some prints which are influenced by Banaras leaves. So, and there are these kind of prints are also called parads. Parchas. Now there is a word which is used in Sanganeri that this is a parcha. Now parcha is a word which is used in Banaras for certain kind of designs. How come that word was being used in Sanganeri also for defining something similar but being hand block printed? So when you and this happened because of the Mughal Darbar. Now the Mughal Darbar was wearing a parcha and they were wearing a parad from Sanganeri, and when that parcha, maybe even earlier it might have happened when the Jaipur people were wearing, but earlier they never used to cross carry from one to the other. ऐसे नहीं होता था, और बाद में जब mix होने लगा, you can say that is Indo-Mughal art, which is a kind of a mix of the Indian art and the Mughal art, and that's why it has a different taste altogether. So that is it. Sanganeri print has a lot of influence of the Indo-Mughal art. Somebody who's aware of it should be like, when I was working in RSIC, I came to know that we were doing 2-3 training centers only. So I said, "ये training centers का पैसा कहाँ से आता है DCA?" So I met the DCHC and I told him, आप 2 training centers चला रहे हो, आप 10 चलाइए, 15 चलाइए और सारे क्रॉप पॉकेट्स में चलाइए। उसने कौन चलाया? हमने कहा हम चलाएंगे। So when we're under me, we had 15 training centers running at different places in all areas. And what we started, our learning was that you went train young boys who were ready just before the employment age. We trained them, but they would not adopt that employment. After that, if they got a better employment, they would go away. So that became a way. Then we said, okay, now the daughter-in-laws. अब ये दूसरी जगह से आए जहाँ पर there is no hand block printing. They have come into a hand block printing family, but they are shy of learning. These are the people we have to teach. So we taught them. And then we also taught other daughter-in-laws who can go and work in some other place or carry some work home from there. So the girls who were stay putting over there, the women, those became a target group for giving training in hand block printing.
अभी पहले मेरे चाचा जी काम करते थे नहीं क्या, मैं उनके साथ काम सीखा हूँ। मतलब 15-16 साल हो गए मुझे काम करते हैं। और धीरे धीरे जैसा ही मेरा काम अच्छा हुआ तो फिर मैं सैम्पलिंग करने लगा। सैम्पलिंग करने के बाद फिर मैं ये प्रोडक्शन देखने लगा सारा, और अब जो है धीरे धीरे कलर का सीखने जा रहा हूँ।
Today we have I have hardly any cheapers, only 4-5 cheapers. They're all trained they're all from across different communities. The Frukabadis are there, the other cheepas from other villages who are not cheepas by caste. They're just people who have picked up thoda bahut kahin kara. When they've come here, slowly you train them in it. So it's important to have training programs which are tied up with the government is spending a lot of money on skill upliftment, but their programs are very controlled programs, common for lots of things, but they have to make them very flexible when you use them for the craft-based industries, because craft-based industries, each industry has a different requirement. And what they do is they start training. They will teach him first washing, then they'll teach him how to make color, then they'll teach him printing, then they'll teach him dyeing, finishing. They'll take him through the whole. Now what are you training? You're training an entrepreneur who's becoming aware a little of all the things. Even though you've given him a 3 to 6 months training, he has no skill at the end of the day. I would not keep him. So initially when we started this unit, this park itself was running a training center which was being run by the government. There are certain things we need to preserve, and how we preserve them that they are can be used in our daily life and become a part of our requirement that is needed in today's environment or lifestyle or whatever it is you call. That is also very important. Awareness, marketing, taking him out to all our museums should have hand block printing or craft-based demonstrations like they have abroad. Abroad, they have become very conscious of all these things, and they're making an effort.
So many foreigner entrepreneurs are also establishing in the hand block printing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Jaipur also I've seen like a lot of these like smaller boutiques.
Inculcating this culture into by bringing it home also. In a way, if we can spend say 1,000 rupees on or 2,000 rupees on a brand, we should be ready to spend it on crafts also. That's one way of looking at it. How do you look at it when you see something like that? A very nice movie on the TV, a small clip which gives you why it is important, how you put it across is very important. There are some very, very sensitive and very nice video clips which just give you कि हाँ ये बहुत important है. So how do you reach children, and especially in today's environment, when you are having the kind of environment that you have, where your learning is all on the internet, where your life is all related to games on the internet. So how do you bring this culture into, how do you introduce them to this culture? We have to work on that.